Hello, and welcome to another episode of Critical Political Thinking. My name is Camasso, and I'm your host. In today's informative episode, we're going to be talking about three major topics that have really taken our country by storm, as well as the entire world for that matter. The first being, of course, the Texas Democrat Insurrectionists. These are 60-plus members of the Democratic lawmaking body that chose to take it upon themselves to leave the state and form a dereliction of duty. We're going to go over the details, the arrest warrants, and why this is very typical of the new Democrats that just run away, hide, whine, call racism, just about on everything. So we're going to go over the details of this whole new integrity law that has been passed by Texas. We're going to go over the details on why they chose to run and a whole lot more. Additionally, we're going to talk about how the world is legitimately deteriorating under the Biden administration, how most other countries see the failures here in America and feel that all hope has been lost, and they are taking action. We're going to go over Cuba, South Africa, and Haiti, and we're going to go over how this leads to possible unrest here in America as well. And then finally, we're going to touch on the topic that's truly crossing the minds of all Americans. Who is running America? So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for this very informative episode of Critical Political Thinking. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Critical Political Thinking. My name is Camasso, and I'm your host. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Texas Insurrectionists. And what do we mean by that? The Texas Insurrectionists are nothing but a group of whiny Democratic lawmakers who chose to put themselves in dereliction of duty. They decided to flee to Washington, D.C., to the home of their Democratic stronghold so they could run into the arms of Schumer and Pelosi and cry, racism, racism. They're trying to pass a law that actually structures and doesn't allow us to cheat in an election. What do we do? How will we ever take charge of Texas? How can the master Democratic plan ever work if we can't continue to do what we did in the 2020 election? Let's talk about it first. What's going on and why did they run? Well, there is a new law that is set to pass in Texas. And why is it set to pass? Well, that's because the members of Texas, the people that live in Texas, voted for the people that make their laws. These individuals so happen to be a majority Republican. Therefore, this law will probably pass because it's majority Republican driven. And what is this law? Well, let's talk about it. They call it racist. Real Americans call it integrity. Now let's talk about it. Why is it racist? What could be possibly racist about banning drive-through voting? How is that racist? What is racist about drive-through voting? Actually, what drive-through voting does is it opens the door for intimidation because, you're in a car, you don't know what weapons this person has, you don't know what kind of intimidation factors this person has, and you don't know if that's actually their real vote or if the person next to them intimidated them. So what they're doing is they're making it either be in-person voting or where you can vote from the privacy of your own home after requesting a mail-in ballot. We'll get to that in just two. They've also canceled 24-hour voting. Oh no, you can't go at 2 a.m. to vote after you leave the bar. What a tragic idea. And they're making it seem as if they only have one day to vote. There's 14 days to vote in Texas. 14. If you can't make it in 14 days, and within 14 days in a legitimate time, shame on you. Maybe you shouldn't be voting, period. And then let's also talk about how mail-in ballots. They love this mail-out, mail-in ballot system. This way they can run around, take stuff out of mailboxes, allegedly do this, do that. And this is any side can do this. And this is why you shouldn't have just formal mail-out ballots to everyone. Maybe during COVID it was good because you didn't know who had the ability to reach through. You didn't know who had this, whatever. COVID's over. Get over it. We don't need to keep these laws, and if you don't, it's racist. We need to adjust to go back to the fact that we're Americans and we can now go back in person and vote or request it for a legitimate purpose. But you have to now apply for a mail-in ballot. You can't just send them out to everybody. They can't just pop up in people's mailbox with the understanding that somebody can run down the street and take 30 ballots and boom, they're gone. That's that. It's called integrity, people. It's called protecting the election. It's called making your vote count instead of stealing the votes. Additionally, they now require ID for that mail-in ballot. Oh no, the most racist thing in the world, identification. Black people can't get IDs. Hispanic people can't get IDs. They can. They should. And to be a part of society, you need an ID. You need an ID to get on a plane. You need an ID to buy a pack of smokes. You need an ID to get a beer. You need an ID to drive. Why in God's name shouldn't you need an ID to do the most important thing in the American system, and that's a vote? So you only have one vote, so your vote counts, so your vote is legitimate, so you're not illegal, so you're not supposed to not vote. And now they're requiring it. Oh no, they're so racist. Shame on them. Wrong. And they also allow for a correctional process for the mail-in ballot, something that they didn't do in the past. So now you can actually correct your ballot if you happen to screw it up during the mail-in process. So how is that racist? There's nothing racist about it. So instead what you have is you have a ploy, a Democratic ploy to push formal federal elections. The bill that Joe Biden is trying to push. And magically they get down there, and now Kamala likens it to the Civil War. Let's rile up the citizens. Let's get all 50 states involved. We'll use Texas Democrats as the ploy, the scapegoats. And now what is so important to remember about this? They will be arrested. The second they step foot back into Texas, they're getting arrested for dereliction of duties. And the Constitution in that state allows for it, and I hope they are arrested, prosecuted, and held to the fullest content of the law, because what they are doing is they are holding up their duties. They are preventing the citizens of Texas from having the legislation that the duly elected officials chose to do. So, frankly, you lose, Democrats. And what do you do when you lose? You run away like little chickens back to Washington, D.C., and you hide and you pretend like, like it never happened. Like you're just exempt from the law, like you're doing the most courageous of things. You even took the nerve to go on Fox News. Mind you, you got destroyed. Whoever that guy was, he got destroyed. Thank God, whoever that Fox News journalist was, he really took him to town. But he explained to him how, you're just running away. You're doing what you're not supposed to be doing. Mind you, they did it with a case of beer. They took a case of beer with them. Oh yes, they're really struggling. They're just like the people who stood up for the voting laws back in, the Crow days. You're just so out of touch, just like Kamala. It's such a shame. It's truly such a shame, and I don't know that we'll ever be able to do anything to fix it other than ensure that we make sure that states pass these integrity laws, make sure that they prevent people like these joke Democrats from getting back into office and taking our country and turning it into a wasteland. Speaking of which, now the rest of the world is going to start to deteriorate, because now they don't have the stability. They don't have someone like Donald Trump forcing structure. Instead, what they have is they see Americans turning into this big sissy pansy place where if they complain enough, if they destroy enough, if they loot enough, if they riot enough, they'll get their way. Well, now what's happening? You have South Africa. More unrest than I've ever seen. I mean, entire towns, entire provinces completely destroyed, all because of the arrest of Jacob Zuma. Now, Jacob Zuma was their former president. He was arrested, and they threatened, if he wasn't arrested, to riot protest. So what ends up happening? They saw what they saw, and now what they're doing is exactly what happened here in America with the BLM, and it's exactly who you see in South Africa. It's not the white side of South Africa that's destroying their towns. It's the people of color in South Africa that are destroying their towns, and it's so sad because the people of color are the ones that need that structure, because they claim they have it so bad, and yet they're destroying what little they do have. They're not going to have food, they're not going to have medicine, they're not going to have, electronics in that town for some time to come, because no business owner in their right mind is going to rebuild there. Obviously, the police were incapable of protecting them, and now they had to call in their own military. It's a damn shame what's going on. And what's the Biden administration doing? Nothing. He probably doesn't even know what's going on. Nobody told him yet. He hasn't woken up yet from his little afternoon nap. Sleepy Joe is literally tearing apart this world, and nobody seems to care. Let's talk about Cuba. Cuba, the president had the nerve to say it's because of COVID that they're rioting. Yes, you scream Libertad when you're worried about COVID. Wrong. What they're screaming about is they don't want what's happening here in America to continue there. They don't want socialism. They don't want communism. They don't want any of that. They're sick of it. They want freedom. And what do? You follow in their footsteps, and you tear apart this country doing exactly what has ended everything in theirs. Biden, you're a shame. There's no other way to put it. Haiti, we have 2 Haitian Americans accused of orchestrating, one, but 2 involved, of orchestrating a ploy to kill Jovenel Moïse, and that is their president. The president was assassinated. The first lady was put in critical condition, is still in dire straits. And, now we have extreme unrest in Haiti as a direct result of the actions of 2 Haitian Americans. And now more than ever, we need a diplomatic president, a president with strength, a president with gall, a president with the ability to stand up and speak a full sentence. And instead, what do we have? Joe Biden. So I think we're in trouble, people. I think that it's time that we as Americans realize that this is no longer just a funny thing, LGBTQ, BLM. No. This is now worldwide. And our country is in jeopardy. And when I say jeopardy, I mean severe, severe jeopardy. Who is running America? No other country knows. We don't know. Clearly Joe Biden's not. Jen Psaki made that very clear when she said, well, the speech we wrote for him, the speech that, in his words, blah, 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 blah. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's right. You let it slip. You let it slip one too many times. We know Joe Biden is not running this country. He was a puppet from day one. That's why you kept him in the basement. He's continuously being a puppet. And now what do we have? We have Joe Biden, that is president of the United States, an elected president, so be it. Have to say it. But he's not in charge. Is Kamala? Absolutely not. She's so far out of touch, she doesn't even know that Kinko's has been out of business for 13 years. We are in trouble, people. These are the people that are leading our country. They laugh, they cackle, but they truly have no idea how to address the situations. And these are the people that other countries feel are leading our country. But we deep inside know that's not the case. We know that there is some group of individuals in the White House, some Democratic deep ploy, including Pelosi, Schumer, and all these dancing clowns that have continuously pushed socialism into this country. They've continuously destroyed everything that the Trump administration had put together that actually put America first. And within a matter of 7-8 months, we are now America last. We are in worse position than we've ever been. Ever. And yeah, he can come in and say, oh, we have more jobs being made under my administration than ever. That's because you closed all the jobs during COVID. The Democratic Fauci destroyed and shut down almost each and every business, all up to his opinion. And that's the only reason people are coming back to work. And they're coming back now, and they're going to come back in September to make it look great, slowly, gradually. So we couldn't say it was Trump. That's why you held out the September unemployment and destroyed small business as we know it. And you canceled the non-competition waivers. You just threw them out the window. So now anybody that trains somebody basically can have anyone else just leave them and do whatever they want with no repercussions. Open a business right next door. Nothing happens. You are destroying small business. You are destroying social or capitalistic America, and you are pushing in this socialistic agenda that has destroyed every other country. The reason Cuba is the way it is, and now you're making it America. Why? Why are the Democrats so set on destroying America? I cannot answer that question. I don't know if they know something we don't know, and they're just throwing it all under the bus to get whatever attention they can get. Who knows? But what I can tell you is if you plan to be in this country for a good period of time, it's about time we put our feet down. We stand up. We have strong candidates run against each and every one of these morons come each and every election moving forward. And we study and we focus on each and every election and its integrity, and we force these representatives and senators to pass electoral processes that matter. And we ensure that the federal election plan that they're putting in effect does not pass. If that passes, the only way it's going to pass is if they push this garbage filibuster through. We will never see another Republican president as long as you live. We will lose control of this country. Socialism will take over, and America will never be the strongest country in the world again. My name is Corey Camasso, and this is Critical Political Thinking. I do apologize for my lisp. I had some oral surgery, so I'm having trouble talking. I hope you understood us. We will put the closed captioning below. Please understand we are a non-profit, unmonetized channel. When we produce videos like this, clearly YouTube is not going to pay us because they don't agree with our view. And that's how YouTube and big tech and social media works, because that too is socialist. And, social media, socialism, hey, look at that. But what I can say is hopefully the Donald Trump class action lawsuit focuses on this and we start to get our voice back. In the meantime, visit www.criticalpoliticalthinking.com today. That's www.criticalpoliticalthinking.com. Join our Critical Political Thinkers Club. Get yourself a fancy-dancy Critical Political Thinkers mug, maybe a t-shirt, hat, all kinds of great gear, all by donating and helping our channel grow and share the truth with America. Because that is what we need to do right now. We need to work together, share the truth, get the facts out there, get the facts straight, and make sure that we protect the Americans that matter. Thank you so much for watching Critical Political Thinking. My name is Corey Camasso. Please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, rumble. But most importantly, share this video with someone that truly understands or needs to understand what's happening in America today. Thank you so much for watching Critical Political Thinking. My name is Corey Camasso. God bless America.